welcome back to another episode of JP and the Beans Talk.
Huh! You bet.
We're back.
Live. We're in person. There's a tremendous energy in the gym. Riley, it's opening day for Major League Baseball. My Orioles are 1-0. They're on the path to 162-0. So it's going to be an undefeated season. It's incredible.
That'd be absolutely insane.
I wonder what that would take.
Baseball team. Because that hasn't been done in basketball with 82-0. 73-9.
I wonder if a baseball team, like, if you tried to make it happen, like, manipulated the rules. For example, what if one team was allowed to play with 11 players in the field? Okay, 11 guys defensively. And on top of that, they only had to bat their 6 best hitters. I wonder, what would they need to do for pitching? Get 2 outs instead of 3? Or if they can do it. Wonder if it can be done. Somebody needs to find out. Let's start changing the rules. Major League Baseball is changing a lot of rules this year. And let's change that one.
And all the pitchers on that one team kind of all pitch over 100 miles per hour consistently.
What if the stakes were really high? Like, hey, if you lose a single game,
we kill your child.
I mean, maybe a little dark. I was thinking more of you get sent to Canada.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that.
You're right. Mine was darker.
Touché.
But,
Toronto Blue Jays.
Dude, beautiful time of year. The start of baseball. It just, it feels so good because there's actually hope for my Orioles this year. Normally the start of the season goes like, oh yeah, well, here we go. We're going to lose a ton of games again. I think we'll be all right this year. We just want to get above 500 for 2 years in a row. That's all I'm asking. That's all I've set my expectations at. I think that's fairly realistic. I'm opening my heart up slowly, ready to be heard again. Let's see what happens.
I saw a Cardinals player sing the national anthem. I don't know if it was good. Was it good? Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Heard about it, didn't see it.
Yes.
I'll check it out. Aaron Judge hit a homer because that's what Aaron Judge does. So baseball is officially back. Yeah. My fantasy baseball opponent this week, my dear sweet friend Jesse, is notorious for not paying very good attention to his lineup. As in not setting it. As of today. Okay, and you have to set your lineup before first pitch for each player. Let's see, he had one batter that was on the IL, so in other words, not available in his starting lineup. He had one pitcher that's also on the IL in his starting lineup, and a completely open spot.
Sounds like
Jesse wasn't filled.
Sounds like Jesse needs to get his stuff together.
He did, almost. I saw that at the very last minute. Here's the kind of friend I am, right? I thought, should I text him and be like, Jesse, set your lineup? I chose not to. That's the kind of friend I am. Like, no, I want to win.
I don't blame you.
And so I didn't. But I did see that Jesse, to his credit, was able to fill the empty slot, got his injured batter out, but didn't get there in time to get the injured pitcher out before the lineup's locked. So he does have one guy on the IL. Also, this pitcher, Carlos Rodon for the Yankees, has been injured. It's a known thing that he's been injured for like the last 2 weeks. Unlike Justin Verlander, who today, the day the season starts, all of a sudden you find out, oh, sorry, Verlander's actually going to start the year on the IL. That would have been understandable, right? Kind of a last minute, didn't see this coming. It's been a couple weeks. So anyway, it's just a sign for me that spring is coming. New life, new opportunities, green freaking grass.
I was outside in a t-shirt today.
Incredible.
It was incredible.
Incredible.
Felt freeing.
Yeah, because it is.
I let the guns loose.
I'll tell you what, you have to.
Yeah.
Right? Just go shirtless all year round.
With all these restrictions.
Why not? Right? There are no more restrictions. Be free. Let's cut loose. So, and that's really what we're here to do today, is cut loose. We're fresh-ish off of having seen Shazam. That was a delight. Prior to that, we got to see Ant-Man Quantumania. Now we have a nice buffer of time between the next big flick, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, comes out in May. That's going to come up very quickly. I mean, we're recording this one of the last days of March, which is wild. So we are fast approaching that film. In the meantime, we are waiting patiently for The Mandalorian to conclude so that we can binge every single Mandalorian episode and recap it for you lovely listeners.
And I watched John Wick 4 on Monday.
Oh, I heard that was great. How'd you feel about it?
Oh, it was awesome. There was one fight scene that lasted about, well, I mean, the whole movie's a fight scene.
Right.
But there's
this
one
particular part.
There's one part for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
John Wick fights with one nunchuck, and it is so badass.
One nunchuck?
Just one nunchuck.
Were the Ninja Turtles there?
No.
That's a disappointment.
But he smoked some people with
that is
nunchuck.
awesome. What were some of the highlights for you from John Wick? Because I've seen John Wick 1, John Wick 2. I'll get around to seeing John Wicks 3 and 4.
First of all, one of my favorite franchises.
Yes. But you're not going to spoil or like ruin anything for me. I'll still watch him.
Donnie Yen is in this movie.
Ooh.
And he plays a blind guy.
Okay.
Dude tears it up. Okay. It's awesome. All right.
Was he on John Wick's side or adversary?
It's complicated.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
okay.
Trying to remember everything that happened. Let's just say it starts off with a bang.
Sure.
The opening scene was like it sets the tone for the whole movie.
How long is the movie altogether?
Like 2.5 hours.
That long?
I think
pretty good for a John Wick movie.
I think they said the original cut was 3 hours and 45 minutes.
What?
Yeah, and then they had to cut back, obviously.
Sure.
But
where does it rank for you, personal preference, in relation to the other John Wick movies? Very enjoyable.
I gotta remember all of them because it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. So, this one's up there. This one might be number 1. The first one's like classic, sets the tone.
Yep.
2, it kind of like stretches it out, and then 3, it's like him against the world. So, and then 4.
That's what I remember about the second movie. Is it was a little more world building than anything else.
Right, and then the 4th one is him against the commanders, essentially, or of the hidden society of assassins. Right. So,
have they already started making John Wick 5?
They put it on hold. So they are making a TV show called The Ballerina with Ana de Armas, and John Wick's supposed to make an appearance.
Okay. Is she in the 4th movie?
No.
Huh.
It's
all right.
It's weird. If you haven't seen the movie, I won't go into why it's weird where it is, but
that's fine.
It's like
yeah.
Oh, and there's really cool. Almost spilled my milk. There's like they're in France for a good portion of the movie, and you know how there's that one big arch,
right?
That's just a giant roundabout, essentially.
Sure.
And there's
perfect place for a fight.
Right. And then there's cars come in. There's a couple scenes I'm like, if this was real life, he would have been dead there, and there. Because a lot of people get hit with cars.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's great.
It's fantastic. Great movie. Great movie. Go watch it. I love every minute. And then we get Mario in April as well. And
are you going to see that?
Oh, I'd be damned if I don't go.
Wow.
I will be.
You're in.
I will be there front row. Jack Black is Bowser. We are in the peak of cinema.
Okay, but why, if Jack Black is going to be in it as Bowser, why animate him? Why not just put him in a Bowser suit and have him be the live action part of the movie?
Did you see him come on the Kelly Clarkson show? I don't watch that show. Okay, I saw this.
That was a test you passed, and I can also pass by saying no.
But like they were
haven't caught it in a couple of weeks.
Right.
I was once a faithful viewer.
They brought out like the Mario cast, so like Charlie Day, Keegan-Michael Key, Chris Pratt, and then he didn't come on right away, and then he's like in a full Bowser costume, and he's like, they told me that they were all going to be in costume, and then I'm here. And so he's just sitting there the whole interview in a Bowser costume, and it's hilarious.
Jack can pull that off.
Yes, Jack Black is Jack Black is Bowser. I will be there front row.
Okay, now help me here because my interwebs are not working. Didn't Donnie Yen, all right, and I'm going to take a leap here, and this could go really poorly. You said he played a blind guy in John Wick 4.
Yes.
Did he not also play a blind guy in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story? Or am I thinking of the other...
No, you're right. I believe you are right.
Okay, I think I am too. And the reason I say I'm taking a risk is that there's an awkward chance that I am misremembering this particular martial artist actor.
Oh, he's in so many martial art movies.
Right. But I thought, no, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that right, because Donnie Yen is also in the Ip Man movies, if I'm remembering that right. I have not seen all of them, but the first one is insane. The sheer skill that he has is crazy.
He was in the first John Wick? I don't remember that.
Was he in Rogue One? Because if he was, this is multiple times he's played a blind guy.
Star Wars.
And relatively close together. And as far as I know, Donnie is thoroughly not blind.
Donnie Yen.
He's got a knack for it. Wow, I feel really good about that pull.
He was the May the Force be with you guy.
Yes.
May the Force be with you.
Yes, he's got the stick rather than the lightsaber.
There's another actor that I really like.
That wasn't even his line, though. It was, I am one with the Force, and the Force
That's
is one
it,
with
yes.
me. Right?
I botched it.
Yep, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's been a while since I've seen that. And I'm not even sure I said it word for word correctly. Oh, Donnie Yen. What a guy. Isn't it a shame that he never actually got to wield a real lightsaber?
I know. Right?
I mean, it's great that he's got a staff. Yes, he can do great things with that. But give him a lightsaber. They probably didn't, because if they had, he would have made everybody else that's ever wielded a lightsaber look bad.
It's true. See, I also liked, there's another guy in John Wick 4 that I really like, because he was also in Bullet Train. It was Hiroyuki Sanada.
Okay.
He's this dude. Also.
Yep, Last Samurai guy. Yes!
Yeah, he's a badass in this movie, too.
Fantastic.
So, it's a great movie. He was in Rush Hour 2? Or he was in Rush Hour 3?
Ooh, I don't
Which one was he the bad? Was he the bad guy in Rush Hour 3?
Could have been.
He was the brother.
He's got a good menacing look.
Was the brother in Rush Hour 3. I just watched all the Rush Hour movies like...
Well, these are good connections you're drawing.
4 months.
Nice.
4 months ago. Because they're all on Netflix. I just watched all 3. I'm like, you know what? I've been forever since I watched the first one. And I know I've seen bits. Yeah, dude, he was badass in that movie.
Yeah.
And he was in the Wolverine?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He is.
My world is expanding right now.
He's pretty consistent with who he is. Here's what's a little odd, okay, in terms of Marvel continuity. He's in the Wolverine, right? Has a fairly not insignificant role. And then he's in Endgame.
It says that. What was he in Endgame?
He gets killed by Hawkeye when Hawkeye is Ronin. When we are introduced to Hawkeye in the Ronin persona, and we see Hawkeye taking out, well, we don't actually see him taking out, in Japan, adversary after adversary. We see him have a sword fight with one guy. That's the guy he kills. That's him. Yeah. Kind of like...
It feels like they botched him being in it, though.
It's totally Endgame outkicking its coverage in the sense that, wow, you had that guy be the kind of token dude that you need to see Hawkeye kill. But maybe he was just all in on it. He's like, wait, this means I get to be in this movie? I just have to die and I get to fight with a sword? This is what I do. This is what I do. I'm in.
It could be. And it could also be like...
that.
Right.
I mean, who among us would not say, wait, I get to be in this movie franchise and I just have to be in it for a little bit, but then I get to have been in it? I'm in.
But also, great. Think about from the stance of that's who Hawkeye kills.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't kill a scrub. He killed a badass dude.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Somewhere out there's got to be an extended scene of the fight between Hawkeye and that guy.
Well, it's just...
There's got to be.
I don't know why I thought... Well, it's because of Jackie Chan. But they're making a new animated Ninja Turtle movie.
Oh, okay.
From Seth Rogen.
Oh, no.
And Jackie Chan is voicing Master Splinter. Not something you're like... I'm kind of excited for it.
Okay.
I like that casting.
Your reaction really isn't very positive. Jackie Chan as Splinter, okay, maybe.
Also...
Maybe. I don't trust Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Also, they might have the most badass casting in all Ninja Turtles because Juan Carlo Despacito is voicing Baxter Stockman.
Oh my.
He should do a live Baxter Stockman, by the way, because that is a perfect casting for him.
Okay, who do they cast as the turtle voices?
Like up and coming actual teenagers.
So still unknowns.
It's a bunch of teenage kids.
Okay.
From what I understand.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. There's other people that Seth Rogen is doing Bebop.
Of course he is.
And then Rocksteady is John Cena. Yes. Let's see here.
I'm starting to like this, and I don't want to. This just makes me want to go back and watch the original Ninja Turtle movies.
I have them in there.
Okay,
all
press
3 on
pause
DVD.
The podcast. Time to take a break.
Let's see here. No, it wasn't this. What?
John Cena. Okay.
Mutant Mayhem is what it's called. Mutant Mayhem. That's it. Yes. How to remember it. The animation looks fantastic as well. Yes.
Okay. So you're saying I should trust this? You don't
have to trust it.
Maybe I should give it a chance.
But the cast is actually pretty stellar. So they have Paul Rudd's in it as Mondo Gecko. He's just a mutant gecko.
Dang it.
Let's see here. Who else? Do you know Hannibal Buress?
Not a name that I'm familiar with.
He's also in this as a
some kind of lizard
mutant.
Sure.
Mutant frog.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay.
Ice Cube is playing a mutant guy as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Good
Post
grief.
Malone is playing a mutant.
Good grief.
Yes. And then they kind of got a little 2023 with the cast, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, hey, we've got the bracket to get to. For those that tuned in on our previous pod, we had the first round of our JP and the Beans, what will be an annual bracket, and we went through round number 1. It was a delight. We have rounds 2 and 3 on the docket for today. Well, actually, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, sorry. No. Rounds 2, 3, we'll have the round 2 competition, round 3, and round 4. So we're going to get all the way down to the final 4, which we will save for the next pod. But we've got some serious competition that's going to take place. We're excited about that. Before we get that far, though, we've got just a hodgepodge, a nice big grab bag of news that we want to recap and discuss. And I think let's actually start on the DC side. Smaller bit of news, which is fine, but we're going to spend some more time on the Marvel side. So there's been rumors, Riles, which we love talking them rumors, about the Batman 2 and the villains that we're going to see in that movie. And your face, which shows pure delight, is an indicator of how you feel about this news. Why don't you just introduce them? I mean, you're happy. I don't want to take it from you.
Clayface is rumored for this movie, which I have been talking up forever. Been talking up forever. Now, I will say this. If they don't give him powers and they make him some, mask guy...
Sure.
I will burn it to the ground. Okay, I want Monster...
Master for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, don't get me started. That one's the worst. I don't think you can. I don't think you can get much worse. That one's number 1 for worst. Second would probably be Mandarin Iron Man 3.
Oof.
That one hurt me.
Yeah.
For other reasons. Okay. But I would love this to be like a monster movie, detective thriller. He doesn't know who the bad guy is because he could be anyone. Sure. It's perfect.
Sure.
It's the perfect detective movie, and I hope they just make him the main guy. And, it would be kind of cool if, they incorporated other villains, but, he was pretending to be the potential's endless. Okay, the potential is endless, and I'm excited.
I like that angle of how it fits into the Batman as a detective narrative, right? Because what an absolutely tricky foe to try and handle when your opponent, you may not even know who your opponent is because of their ability to change shape at will. And then, when it comes time to engage in fisticuffs, is an enormous and physically unstoppable being.
Who could drown you in his body.
Yikes.
And there's going to be one of those cool scenes where he's he throws a batarang at Gordon, and he'd be like, "How did you know it was me?" And he'd be like, "Gordon doesn't say sup," or something like that, you know?
Whatever the tell is.
Right. You know that's going to be in there. It's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't disagree that Clayface would be a fantastic villain. What is yet not clear is that the Matt Reeves Batman movie that we got felt very much related to, and by related I mean literally a relative of, the Christopher Nolan Batmans, which were everybody's favorite word at the time, grounded. Okay? So I'm not sure, only because it hasn't been shown yet. I don't think it's not possible. They just haven't shown us in the Matt Reeves world, hey, here's how this more odd, unique, mystical's not the right word, but imaginative element can take place, right? Where does that fit in? I wonder.
And I think there's still room for that to be there.
I agree. Just hasn't been shown yet, so I don't think it's closed off. I don't think it's not possible. That just has not been explored or revealed in any tangible way. So, we'll see.
Don't botch it. I want a monster mash.
Okay, so who else, along with Clayface, who else would you like to see as a villain in this movie? If you had to pick right now, and you got plenty of time between now and then, you can change your answer, but March 30th, 2023, who else are you picking?
Well, I'm just gonna. I want somebody that's not gonna outclass Clayface.
Okay.
If I'm making Clayface the focus,
he's your primo.
Right. So Mr. Freeze is off the table because I want Mr. Freeze to be the primary focus when he comes in. Mm-hmm. If we're going comic accurate, my wife is frozen in a vat because she's got some weird disease.
Okay, so no Clayface, Mr. Freeze combo.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm thinking somebody like...
It's an either or, not a both and.
Penguin can still be involved.
Oh, he's there.
For sure.
Yeah. He's a known quantity.
I'm trying to think of other, like, Mad Hatter maybe? I'm just trying to think of, like, some lower tier Batman villains. Zaz wouldn't be terrible. But we kind of got him, but kind of didn't. But I want, like,
You want a Poison Ivy?
That's tricky, because you could make the argument that she could be the main focus. I don't think she... I think in a way, whether you like her character or not, I think she kind of outclasses Clayface.
Okay.
So maybe not her.
Okay.
Or maybe not have her be a focus. Like, she can be there, but she doesn't have a focus in the movie. Because...
Gotcha.
It would also be probably beneficial if they had, like, other characters with abilities.
Yeah.
So she would, in that sense, she would fit really well in there.
Right.
Mr. Freeze, in that sense, would fit really well in there.
Yeah.
So maybe a Killer Croc would fit here because he's kind of that monster. But I don't want to just pair those two up because they're monsters.
If you're going to go Clayface, I would kind of like to see them lean into the weirdness, the monsterness of it with a little Solomon Grundy.
That's another great one.
I mean, like, if we're going to go Clayface, which is one of the strangest Batman villains, and least, let's just say least grounded.
Right.
How about the dude that doesn't die? Like, that is not zombie, but far from human as well.
Man-Bat would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a villain that I never want to be the primary Batman villain.
Right.
I'm just going to say that right off the bat now.
Not fair.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would be another good one where it's like mix of like... Because you can play him as the sympathetic villain in the sense of he's trying to help Bruce come up with a cure for Clayface and instead decides to test on himself with something.
Villain move. Whoops. Tried it on myself, turned into a monster.
And then there's a bat on the loose.
Whoops.
So that's another great example. But I think you lean into the super-powered villain to complement that.
Yeah. I like those answers. And as we're discussing villains, I think what's becoming more clear to me is I would really enjoy seeing an awesome Robin show up in this movie. I would love for Batman to have a partner in this movie. I think that would just be a delight. And there's so much room, so much opportunity to get Robin right.
And it will probably be Dick Grayson because The new Batman and Brave and the Bold movie will be Damian. Confirmed. Yep. So, if this is how we get our Dick Grayson Robin, I'm all in.
Totally agree.
I think that would be dope.
Totally agree.
And maybe it can help, since Bruce has seen the light in the world, maybe Robin can help bring more light into the world for Brucey.
Yeah.
So
I think that would be fantastic, and potentially a really strong juxtaposition, whereas his world is getting stranger, crazier, harder to understand, that you have this grounding force, which is when Robin is done right, that's a big part of who he is and why he's necessary to exist for the character of Batman, is he helps ground Batman in reality, helps keep him from just falling into the dark side of his nature. And so that would be fantastic. You have these monstrous clay-faced Solomon Grundy man-bat beings, and then you've got Robin. So pulling the character just metaphorically in two different directions, I think would be really strong. Just that juxtaposition. It's like these things should not coexist, and that just creates a lot of natural conflict just in those characters existing in the same movie, existing in the same story together.
Right, and I kind of would like to see this second movie where, now, I don't want a lot of these, but I wouldn't mind actually seeing Robert Pattinson play Bruce Wayne just a wee bit more, to be like, oh, he's actually gotten himself out of the cave and is trying to establish his life outside of Batman along with, and using it more.
He doesn't have to wear sunglasses indoors during the daytime.
Right.
He's actually familiar with the light.
Right. So I think, and then Robin would be a very good catalyst for that.
Yeah, that's a great point, because the Batman movie, it's going to be necessary if they're going to, and we know this is not a if, this is they're going to do this. They're going to continue making movies with this iteration of Batman. They, for better or for worse, with as much time as they spent with Batman in the Batman, they do have to give more time to Bruce Wayne, because if you don't, it's going to get very imbalanced and not in a healthy way. I loved the imbalance in the first Batman movie, where it was heavy with the Batman and a much smaller percentage with Bruce Wayne. But I think that wears on you a little bit if you don't weave in more development of Bruce as the character, because so much of the Batman story was Bruce and his persona of Batman getting redeemed. He was in a really tough spot, not in a good place. He gets out of that place, comes into a better place. That has to play out through how much we see Bruce Wayne, because one of the reasons we saw Bruce Wayne so little is because of how unhealthy of an outlet the Batman was becoming for Bruce. He didn't want to be Bruce. He just wanted to be Batman all the time. And so as he gets healthier out of necessity, he has to be Bruce more. And so if that progression is going to continue for that character, we're going to see more of Bruce growing, or Batman growing. Bruce has to show up more. And it doesn't have to be a 50-50. I'm certainly not advocating for that.
I don't want it to be 50-50.
But in the first movie, it was probably 10%, 90%.
I wouldn't even say 10. I'd say 5.
Yeah, it was borderline double digits.
Because when he has his mask off in the cave, he's still Batman.
Correct.
Okay, he's Bruce for 5 minutes when he has to show up at a funeral, and that doesn't even last long.
His butler's hospital bed.
Right.
So
right.
Not often at all. But it probably needs to get closer to the 20-80. Right, or 25-75.
And I wouldn't go any more than that.
I totally agree.
Because that's why this movie thrived, is because it was Batman and not Bruce Wayne.
Totally agree. And it's very easy to swing too far to the other side, where you get so involved and engaged with the character, or with the person behind the mask, that you lose some valuable time with alter ego. I mean, I enjoy and adore the Dark Knight trilogy. I do think that is a tangible weakness that the Dark Knight Rises really struggles with, is it spends not enough time with Batman. There's so much time spent with Bruce, and it's done well, but I still wish in that movie, man, if we could have had just more of more of Batman, less of Bruce, even by 10, 15 minutes, that movie would have been much, much better off for it. So hard balance to find. But I think, to your point, hey, err on the side of a lot of Batman and enough of Bruce. I think that's the right side to err on in this case.
For sure.
Yeah, no question. I love that you said, because I had forgotten. Oh my gosh, that's right. Colin Farrell's the Penguin. He's going to be in this. So
for sure.
You got the Penguin. You'll have, let's say the rumor is valid, we'll have Clayface. There's probably just room for one more adversary, right, of any tangible note. So it'll be fascinating to see in the months to come, and more news around this development comes out, how this actually kind of solidifies.
Mr. Pig.
Oh, jeez. Ugh.
Dude,
I don't know if I'll go see it if it's Mr. Pig.
Mr. Pig in that setting.
Nope.
That's a horror movie, dude.
Correct.
And
I hate horror movies. I don't like being scared.
That is 100% a horror movie.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I don't either.
No. Okay. Well, we know who we don't want to see.
I regret bringing it up, to be honest.
I forgive you.
But he came to me last second.
That is the bulk of our DC news. Real quick, I did actually want to throw a quick plug. The Flash movie, which doesn't come out until June, is releasing like fresh TV spots now, which I find unnecessary. It's like, oh, throttle back. There's a long time between now and June. You don't have to fire up the hype train quite so soon.
I think they're trying to fix the mistake they made with Shazam 2, and we're like, we didn't market for that movie at all. We need to over-market.
Yeah.
Over-market all the money into the Flash.
Oh, what a surprise that would be. Another overcorrection. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there just to really bum us out. So now that I've done that, how about some Marvel news, Riles?
Hit me.
Yes, so there's, again, a hodgepodge to cover here. There has been a lot of behind-the-scenes movement within the Disney leadership world, and that, of course, flows into the Marvel world. There have been several executives on the Marvel Entertainment branch. Now, that's different. That is separate from Marvel Films, but let's call it a cousin, if not a sibling. And there have been members of the family, of the Marvel Studios family, that have been axed recently. So there is a culling of sorts that is pretty obvious is taking place on the leadership front. I would wager to call this the Iger effect. I brought up several months ago how Bob Iger's return as the CEO of Disney was marked by him publicly stating that something that Disney must do, and Marvel, of course, fell under Bob's leadership when it grew into the studio powerhouse that it is now, that Disney must get back to prioritizing the quality of the content that they release as opposed to sheer volume or quantity of content. And this is fresh on the heels of Disney Plus getting its feet underneath it, and Phase 4 being littered with content between movies and shows. Obviously, part of what no one could anticipate that created this additional backlog was the pandemic, which delayed a number of productions. So what was already a very full year-to-year slate became that much more saturated. But even with all of that, I don't think anybody that has watched these movies through the years and then through the last couple of years would argue that, hey, Phase 4, that was a banger of a phase. That was, out of all 4 phases, one of my favorite phases. There are bits and pieces here and there that were really solid. Obviously, Spider-Man oh my gosh, I'm going to quote the wrong one. No Way Home. I do that every time. It's embarrassing.
Toby was there.
You're right. Toby was there. I just need to call it the Spider-Man Toby movie, but even that's not clear. So I'm hopeless. I have no chance.
Spider-Man
No Way Home. We're going to have to practice this later.
Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3, all in one movie. The
Spider-Man movie, that was tremendous, on par with any previously released Marvel movie.
I love that movie so much.
But that was really it as far as what hit that level, what hit that top tier. And after that, you had a bunch of, this is okay, and then some stinkers, you might say.
Poo-poo.
Yep, poo-poo, straight poo. Some tough ones. And the TV shows, I think, were a particular question, both going in and then unfortunately coming out, as far as how critical are they going to be? Are they going to be necessary to watch and enjoy and understand the movies? And is that even what we want for the TV shows? Was another question. The reason I'm bringing up the TV shows, right, so this is all context for what will turn into our discussion, is that there are now only 2 Disney Plus Marvel shows that are actually confirmed to come out in 2023.
We did it.
That's
this
right.
podcast did it.
Difference makers right here. You're welcome.
They listen.
Loki, sometime later in 2023.
Coming soon.
Still that infamous coming soon banner in the when is this being released world. So TBD, Secret Invasion is the other, and we know that being released sometime in June.
Which will be awesome.
Now, again, for some additional context, you and I predicted Secret Invasion was going to come out in March. Well, March is almost over, and we missed that one. In our defense, our prediction was based off of how last year's Disney Plus shows were released, where you had every other month it was a new show. And now we're seeing a very different release structure. And not only release structure, but a choice of content where there are going to be people that will delight and enjoy watching the Secret Invasion show because you know and connect with the character of Nicholas Fury. Right? Known quantity, Nick Fury. Secret Invasion. Loki had a great first season. Overachieved. No question. To the point that it has gained a worthwhile fandom and probably proved to be, out of all the shows, the best blend of how does this fit into the movies, which it did a great job of fitting into the movies, but no one had to see the Loki show to watch, enjoy, and understand any of the movies that came out after it, including Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
That had Kang.
That introduced the character of Kang. So that's some pretty impressive balance and pretty impressive work. Whereas, contrast that with WandaVision, which I enjoyed, you enjoyed less. If you didn't watch that show, and we talked about this after the Doctor Strange movie from last summer, that's a confusing character turn. There wasn't a whole lot of exposition within that movie of, hey, here's why Wanda's in this place.
Yeah, they didn't really...
That's tough.
They didn't really make her a sympathetic villain in that. They made her a straight up villain.
No.
It would have been... They would have been helped in the sense of, like, if they would have done in Shazam 2, where he breaks the stick.
Yep.
Except 15 minutes of her going through her whole process of the Darkhold taking over.
Right. And without getting too deep into it, I still want to recap some. Hawkeye sucked. That was a bad show.
Crap.
That was tough. Did Hawkeye the character dirty? Did the Kingpin cameo real dirty?
Missed the mark.
Oh boy, that was tough. Moon Knight had some really great moments, but literally blacked out at different times.
Oh God, don't get me started.
I know.
And I loved Moon Knight.
I know. And so we had some bummers, some near misses, but the lack of consistency, on the one hand, you can understand if, hey, we're trying new things, we're experimenting, fair enough. But what this year, with the full slate being repeated for every couple of months, another Disney Plus Marvel show, it didn't feel like lessons were being learned. It felt like we would like to keep making all the money, so we're just going to keep throwing these out. Echo, you bet. Agatha, Covenant of Darkness, you bet. And I'm not saying that those can't be good or worthwhile shows eventually. But
I'm going to say they're not going to be.
That's going to take... They may not be. And if they're going to be, those need some more time in the slow cooker. Those you don't have built up character equity like you do with Nick Fury and Secret Invasion, where people are going to go, I'm going to give this a benefit of the doubt, I'm going to watch it, I'm probably going to enjoy it. You've got a lot more work to do to make the character of Echo worthwhile for her own show. Same with Agatha. That's going to take a lot of work. It can be done. I mean, and it can be done in the sense that new TV shows with new characters that none of us know before are made and produced and enjoyed all the time. So it is possible. But those shows took time to get made. The shows that come out that have well-developed characters, that is a hard process, and that does not happen when the main priority is, hey, here's your deadline, let's go. We got to get this out. So I take this holistically as encouraging news, because rather than settling into what the last year and a half or so has been, I see it as a opportunity to course correct before Marvel gets too far off course. There's a chance to salvage is too strong of a word because things aren't burning. But there is work to be done, and this to me says there's some hope on the horizon. That's a lot of me talking. Riles, what do you got with all this?
Yeah, take your time, homie.
Well,
that's all I got. You're welcome. You hit a lot of great points.
Marvel.
Right. Keep listening to this podcast, Bobby, and we'll hook you up with the goods. But yeah, just take your time, and then especially the characters we don't care about, make us care. Make us care. Sorry, yeah. You know, if Daredevil came out before Echo, I wouldn't be upset.
Right.
And then you introduce her again, and you're like, oh, okay, they're making pair up a deaf girl with a blind guy. I mean, they can't really talk to each other very well at all, but they can't really communicate. That's actually a rough combo.
When you get so many characters need other characters and a good number of other characters to be alongside of them for them to be worthwhile and relevant. I mean, geez, we just got done talking about Batman, one of the A-list superheroes of superheroes. And we had a conversation just minutes ago about how, hey, these characters that we could put either against or with Batman, this matters to that character, right? The character of Batman is better off for these particular adversaries in this movie, for this particular partner in this way. So even a character like Batman, you don't just want to see Batman walking around beating up nobodies.
Right.
Right? He needs great villains to duel with, just like he needs great allies to partner with. That makes his character better. If that's true for Batman, that sure as heck is true for Echo. That sure as heck is true for Moon Knight, right? These are good characters, but they need to have enough of a support system around them to be worthwhile, and that means other heroes. So to your point, Daredevil show has to be first, where we get introduced to Echo, where she gets fleshed out, and then you can branch her off. But even then, Daredevil's going to be a part of that. Other Daredevil adjacent or related characters are going to be a part of that. And that's not a weakness, that's just necessary.
And if you can't find a good enough villain, borrow one from Spider-Man, because he's got 102 that you can use. He's got them all.
He would love to loan some out on occasion.
They're using the Spot in Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Okay? C-list Spider-Man villain, and I'm super pumped for that. So if you can do that with the Spot, you can find somebody that can go up against Echo. Okay?
Yeah. And I'll even throw a bone to the show that I did not enjoy. She-Hulk. The first 2 to 3 episodes, they were, out of that whole show, the best episodes because they included worthwhile characters. You had Hulk, you had a ton of Wong in there. That was great. The show had a chance when it didn't essentially get lost in its own ego and go, no, it's got to be only about She-Hulk. That's where it lost its way hard. She just didn't have a chance. And again, that's a worthwhile character, but when you just put them on the island and say, hey, this is good enough, check this character out, oh boy, it gets really ugly really fast.
And Hulk is a weird one just because of how complicated the rights are to that character.
Of course.
Because in a perfect world, Marvel has the rights to the Hulk, and She-Hulk gets introduced in The Incredible Hulk 2 and stays around for The Incredible Hulk 3 and then gets her own show.
Right.
That is unfortunately not how this worked.
Right.
But
right. Yeah. It certainly got messy. Yeah. Well, I'm still very excited for Secret Invasion, but before I get too far down that road, I feel refreshed, like just emotionally refreshed as a fan with that news, because we have endured now for over a year and a half, better part of 2 years really, just so much content that has felt half-baked.
Right.
And dude, I'm willing to wait longer and have less overall content to consume. And frankly, even from a business perspective, you don't even have to look at this from a, hey, this is how a story gets made better. Just from a business perspective, if you're creating your own problem, if you are oversaturating the market, scarcity is one of the absolute necessities of business. And if you're putting so much content out there that you're devaluing your own product just from the sheer volume, help yourself. Stop. It's at the point, Riley, where you cannot keep up with it. Even if you wanted to, even if you're going, hey, I would like to watch that, but I can't. That's where we're at right now. So by all means, slow down. And for goodness sakes, why would we be in a hurry anyway? Why? You already have all the resources, all the money you need. You don't actually need, you just need to put it out there and it's going to be profitable. So why quick play that? Slow play the dang thing. Do one movie a year if you absolutely had to. But I think that sweet spot, like we talked about on previous pod, of 2-3 shows a year max, 2-3 movies a year max, that's gold right there. That is absolutely masterful. So here's hoping that those course corrections will continue and solidify and signal a new and encouraging path for Marvel, because I think so many of the characters who have had these shows and movies that we've watched and felt about, there's potential for it to be better, no question. That's not who they have to be. So there's still a lot of opportunity there for it to grow and improve.
Agreed.
Okay. Love it. Any other news items that you want to hit?
That's it.
Okay. I think it's about bracket time, Riles.
To the bracket?
Let's do it. Let's
do
the
bracket.
Ho!
And we're back. We have
We have the largest mics in the world. You're welcome.
Yes.
All right, so picking up where we left off on the previous pod, by way of recap, we had 4 respective regions. You had the worst co-parent region. You had the partner in crime
Oh, my
region.
bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I need to follow me with the pointer.
We got there.
We have practiced this.
I need a laser.
Oh.
Okay, that's beside the point.
Okay, yeah, next time.
That's
next
a
year.
whole tandem thing
Next
that
year.
we can get on.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. The worst roomy region and the best real name region. So we whittled it down from 64 in round number 1 to where we are down to 32 heading into round number 2. A nice random amalgamation of heroes, villains, anti-heroes, and characters you've never perhaps heard of before.
I hope
So
you hear most
now-
of these people.
Yeah, really, there should be, most of these should be at least, especially at this point, known quantities. So without further ado, we're going to pick it up in round 2. We're going to go through our round 2 competition to get down to the Sweet 16. We're going to go through the round 3, the Sweet 16 competition, to get down to the Elite 8, and then the round 4 competition, so we will eventually get down to the Final 4, which we will resolve on the next episode.
Who's going to be our Miamis or our Florida Atlantics? That's the question we have to ask.
Where will the upsets occur? Opportunities are rampant. So this, and here's what's fun about this. As you may recall in the previous episode, we just took our time going through one region at a time. We're going to bounce between regions. We're going to start with worst co-parent, then partner in crime, then worst roomie, then real name. We're going to go Sweet 16, Elite 8. It's going to be a blast. So without further ado, Riles, Mr. Beans, let's start with the worst co-parent region. We have Dr. Octopus and Sinestro. between these two, Riles, which is the worst co-parent?
Well, between those two, there's only one actual parent. Because the other guy can't get with a girl to save his life. Because he's creepy and has weird hands. Now,
I'm hearing game over.
Oh, that threw me over. that marker threw me off completely. I don't know why. So
Doc Ock can't even produce.
Right.
How did he even get this far?
Well, because we decided that Doom had a castle.
Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't have a kid either, but he's stolen kids.
Quite an upset for Dr. Octopus in round 1, so he can't even have a kid, can't even qualify.
Yeah.
He's in the wrong region.
Right.
What a freaking villain.
Right. You know the kid's going to be smart.
Yeah.
And you know the kid's... Yeah, I mean, that's what you got. He's going to be smart, and Doc Ock...
Listen,
he's got extra hands.
Sinestro's the worst co-parent, because Sinestro's that parent who's a dick and doesn't recognize that they're a dick. In fact, thinks that they are noble and high-minded and in fact hold the moral high ground. The worst. That's the worst.
Well, we go back to the daughter.
Yeah.
Him and his daughter on opposite teams.
Yep.
And then she comes over and corrupts.
Mm-hmm.
He corrupts her a little bit. No, I said...
No.
Yeah, he's devious.
Okay.
He's got the evil mustache, to be honest with you.
Sinestro moving on to the Sweet 16. Congrats, Sinestro. And I guess actually congratulations to Doc Ock. You're not as bad as others. Okay. Atrocitus and MODOK. This is where we have to use our imagination, because I'm pretty sure MODOK can't reproduce.
Never.
And really, maybe that shouldn't be too much of a criteria. Maybe I overstated that in the previous round.
That's my fault for starting it. Because, Atrocitus is going to be very angry. He's going to be yelling at your kids all the time.
Yeah.
Every time you get your kid back, he's going to be crying because Dad yelled at me and threw lava at me. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is, honestly, where he terrifies you with anger, he terrifies you with looks.
Sheer weirdness.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't even want to be seen with MODOK.
Right. So do you want your kids to be terrified, or do you want them to be cocky, arrogant bastards? Because they're going to run over him.
Yeah. I think MODOK is the worst co-parent because you don't want to be seen with that co-parent. You don't want to be acknowledged as, this is my partner in parenting. I don't think so. Now, Atrocitus is going to embarrass you at the game, at the sporting event, because he's going to get kicked out every single time. You're going to be like, Can you just watch little Johnny play for fun? Please, can we just enjoy a game once? So it's going to spoil that. This is a tough one for
me.
But
he will light a fire under your kid's ass.
Yeah, your kid's going to be motivated, your kid's going to be successful. With MODOK, your kid's just going to be strange.
He's going to be a dick.
MODOK's
your
the
kid's
worst.
going to be a dick.
Yeah. So MODOK advances. That's how this region works. The worst keep on coming. All right. Now, Iron Man, who advanced. Which one of these is not like the other? Iron Man and Darkseid. Quite the pairing we have here.
We go back to Darkseid and what he did with his children.
I know. That's a tough one to come back from. Gave away his biological child, took the adopted child, and tortured them.
I mean, his planet is full of slaves.
I don't know how it gets worse.
Yeah. Iron Man, I feel like if he had a kid,
he's irresponsible.
It might turn him around a little bit, you know? He might try to be a good dad.
Right. He's going to spoil the kid, but it's Darkseid. I mean, he's just
hands down
terrible. I'm not going to be surprised if Darkseid wins this region.
I would be either.
We'll see. His competition in the Sweet 16 is going to be determined between Raz or Raish, depending on your preferred pronunciation, Al Ghul, and Hela. Both a couple of bummers. Both have a association with death. Hela is, the queen of death.
Daughter of Loki.
God of death, that is. That's pretty good.
I think in the comics she's daughter of Loki. Not actually sister of Loki.
Fascinating.
In the comics, I think she's the daughter.
Okay. So some questionable heritage. That could lead to questions.
I just want to see, because I'm curious, because the Norse mythology is so weird.
Oh, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Now, Ra's al Ghul can, as you stated earlier, can come back from the dead, but again, hoard out his own daughter to Bruce Wayne. Terrible grandparent. Hela at least is going to have like some genuine power, some genuine pop. She feels like a loyal person, right? Not necessarily for good, but loyal nonetheless. My vote here is for Ra's al Ghul. I think this is the worst co-parent. between these two. What would you say, Raz?
I would say Raish as well.
Yeah.
Because, there's been multiple times where, they've had weird grandkid mixture things.
Oh, and you're right. It messes with the genetics.
Right. Recently with the kids, he combined Slade Wilson's DNA with Talia's and gave Damien a half-brother that he decided to experiment on. So I'm gonna say Raish for sure.
Yeah, that's really hard to get on board with. Okay. Well, there's your worst co-parent region. We'll come back to them for the Sweet 16 matchups here shortly. But first, let's drop down here to the partner in crime region, the survivors from round 1. Baron Zemo and the Flash. Which of these two are the better partner for the perfect crime? I think Baron's outmatched here, Riles.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because, Baron, as clever as he is, he's not
gonna
that fast.
No, that's not gonna overcome the sheer speed of the fastest man alive.
He's in and out. He's a getaway driver.
Yep.
And a thief all in one.
Yeah.
I think you go with Flash.
Yeah. And I think, on the one hand, you'd think the Flash is not a criminal. Okay. But he's gullible. He's going to believe what you say. And so if you convince him, which wouldn't take a lot of convincing, that the wrong thing to do is for the right reason, he's in. So yeah, you've got him. He's going to do whatever you want him to do. The Flash. Sorry, Zemo, but pretty good on Zemo that he made it into round 2. Favorable matchup in round 1 with Wonder Woman, but I digress. All right, Brainiac and the Wasp. Oh, this one's a little curious.
You have somebody who can get into tight spaces.
Yeah.
And
really good thief. Tailor-made thief.
Right, can't see her. But then you have the mastermind Brainiac who could come up with the plan in milliseconds.
It kind of comes down to, do you want to not have anybody know that it was you? Because if so, that's the Wasp. That's your partner in crime. Or do you really just not give a heck and you're going big, like Brainiac, like, hey, we're not trying to steal something relatively modest in size. We're actually trying to steal a portion of a planet, a city. Right? So the scale
we'll steal the Earth's core.
The scale here matters quite a great deal.
Well, if we go off that, I think it's an easy no-brainer.
What's your no-brainer?
I think it's a Wasp.
Interesting.
Because, I don't want people to know that it was me.
That kind of is part of the crime, right? You really don't want someone to know it was you.
Right.
Yeah. Every good movie tells us this. All the Ocean's movies tell us this.
This is true.
Yeah. The Wasp in an upset, I think.
I think that is an upset.
Good for you. A couple of those, the Flash and the Wasp. We'll meet in the Elite Eight. But before we get that far, we still have Nightwing and Zatanna.
Acrobat extraordinaire.
I love Dick Grayson, but this isn't a good spot for him.
No.
Tough matchup.
Magic Lady.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yeah.
Boom.
Dick Grayson has the post play, and Zatanna's raining in threes.
Right.
Three's more than 2.
Right. All she has to do is talk backwards, and the thing's in her hand.
Yep.
You go with Zatanna.
That was ugly.
Right.
That was ugly. Sorry, Nightwing. Okay, how about Reverse Flash and Kingpin? Getting a little villainous here.
Right. Well, Reverse Flash is the same as the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they're in the same bracket. Anyways.
Right, same region. Interesting.
And we have Kingpin, who probably already has it.
You're right.
He probably already has it.
Yeah. The Kingpin's the one guy that I would say, if given time, could figure out how to get the better of one of the Flashes. But if it's like this, short turnaround, you don't have a whole lot of prep time.
I think here's the question you have to ask yourself. Who do you trust more?
Oh, neither. Here's what I'll say on behalf of the Kingpin, right? As far as a partner goes. If you're on the Kingpin side, he's a pro. You do like what you say you're going to do for the Kingpin, he will do what he says he's going to do for you. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean you should trust him, because he's always thinking so many steps ahead as to how he can leverage you to his best interest. But he's not going to kill you, whereas the Reverse Flash is just going to murder you for the heck of it. So between these two, I trust neither of them, but I really trust Reverse Flash the least.
And that's why I think Kingpin's the better partner.
He is. Yep. No, good dialogue there, but no question, Kingpin better than the Reverse Flash as far as a partner in crime. I mean, he is the kingpin of crime. So he needs to be there in the Sweet 16. Okay, outstanding. Now to the worst roomie region. We have Aquaman and Parasite. A lot of moisture and a lot of where'd my stuff go?
Right.
Yep.
So Aquaman, still talking to fish.
Yep.
You know, your house is going to be an aquarium.
Yep.
And
not ideal.
Right. But with Parasite, you know, he's sucking the life energy out of you every single day of your life.
Yeah.
You're
just depressed. Like, you're just like, wow, why am I down?
Electric bills through the roof.
It's Parasite. Yeah. Yeah. Aquaman's not very good either, but Parasite, you're the worst, bud. You're just there. Okay. Also, we have Supergirl and Wolverine. Why do I feel like both of these would be untidy roommates?
They would probably be.
Right?
Yeah. And Supergirl gets away with it because she's hot.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
right.
She
no one's ever expected her to clean up after herself.
And you know she's hot. And she knows she's hot.
Mm-hmm. Dangerous.
And with Wolverine, I mean...
Ooh. You can't have confrontation with Wolverine.
No.
And that's tough. That's a really awkward spot
there's cigar butts everywhere.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. The smell again. Just not good.
Yeah, smell.
Yeah.
And he's got at least 3 different women over at a time.
He's the worst.
Yeah. He is.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, at least with Supergirl, you got something to look at, you know?
Well, maybe she'd bring some guys over that are, you know,
I don't want
fun to hang out with.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, Clark would be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. There's potential there. Wolverine, not such. All right. Moon Knight and Hulk.
I feel like this is tough.
This is tricky.
Moon Knight's unpredictable. Hulk, angry all the time.
So here's a question. Is it certainly Hulk, or do you actually have Bruce Banner who could become the Hulk? I don't know if we established this in round 1.
I feel like this is the Hulk character as a whole.
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Joe Fixit.
Right.
So, both have cases of multi-personality disorder.
Yeah. I would trust Bruce more to keep it together.
I don't think I would.
No?
No. He's
interesting.
He's teamed up with the Hulk before to be like, hey, let's just kill all these people.
But don't you think, I think there's some loyalty where he would at least take care of you as his roommate. And as soon as he likes you as his roommate.
I don't know. I also look at it.
You gotta break the tie for me here. I feel tied on this one.
Okay, this is where my thought process goes.
Yep, do it.
Do you like your stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna break your stuff.
You're right.
He's gonna turn, and then he's also gonna be that guy that's gonna borrow a pair of pants, hulks out, and then you lose those. Actually, let me rephrase
Shorts.
that. Pants always make it. It's the shirts that don't.
Yeah, but even so, even if you get the pants back, they're so stretched out, they're useless.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Hulk, rich.
Moon Knight's definitely a wild card.
Yeah, not the best. Okay, now we're getting into some bad territory.
Yes.
Red Skull and Lex Luthor. Yeah. Both are bummers to hang out with. Like, neither of them bring anything good to the table.
I still think this is a walk away. Like, way up.
Do it.
Nazi. There's going to be Nazi memorabilia everywhere.
Yeah.
Hydra memorabilia. The dude's gone off in German for no reason.
That's hard to overcome.
Red Skull. By far. You can't bring people over.
No. You never even want to live where you live.
Right.
Yeah. Bad. All right, moving on from the worst roomie region to the best real name region. We have Thor, a classic, paired up against Black Bolt. Bolt just sounds cooler, doesn't it? So much of this is what sounds cooler.
Thor Odinson, Blackagar Boltagon. Thor Odinson, Blackagar Boltagon. That's a winning name right there.
Yeah. What a lame way to come up with the last name, by the way. It's like, keep backing into your closet, I'm sorry. Who's your dad? Okay, and then put the word son after it.
It's true. It's lame.
That's
Odin
creative.
Odin Borson.
It's not even creative.
Oh, that's a bore, son.
Oh.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's tough.
I hated that.
Yeah, sorry. Not good. Okay, how about for our guy Daredevil, all right, Matt Murdock.
Badass name.
Great name. Martian Manhunter John Jones.
John Jones. J apostrophe-O-N-N.
Yeah.
J apostrophe O-N-Z-C.
It's the Z's.
It's the Z's.
Yeah.
Good night, Daredevil.
I'm going to abbreviate this a little bit.
No, I don't blame you.
Eminem, Martian Manhunter. Or I could put JJ, but that's funny.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
All right. Magneto against the Punisher. So Eric Lenscher against Frank Castle.
I mean, what name here? And by the way, it's Eric Magnus Lenscher. I believe his middle name is
Fair
Magnus.
enough. Okay, that helps. That helps his case. It doesn't change the outcome.
No, it's still probably Frank
it's
Castle.
still Frank Castle.
There's so much weight. There's so much weight to the name Frank Castle. You know? I just...
Right.
You go Punisher here.
Yeah, no question. No question.
This one's tough for me.
This one will be a little bit more tricky. Yep, especially with your affinity for Deadpool and Ghost Rider.
Wade Wilson, Wade W. Wilson, the triple W.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
Johnny Blaze. I hate to do it to my boy, but it's Johnny Blaze.
Sounds cooler.
It has to be Johnny Blaze.
So much about the sound. Yep.
Oh, I'm crying.
Yeah, tough break for our guy Wade. We're big fan favorites, but you lose here. You do. You just do. Okay, so there's your real name region. We're down to the Sweet 16, boys and girls. Let's keep ripping through it. Let's actually pick up from where we're at. Let's do a little boomerang action here. You bet. So let's stick with Punisher, Ghost Rider. All right, Frank Castle, Johnny Blaze. This is tough.
This is tough.
This is tough. Do you want what sounds tougher, which is Frank Castle, or, cooler in a
Frank Castle
junior high sense?
Frank Castle's tough, but Johnny Blaze is kind of badass.
Yeah. I think it's the difference of season of life, right? The younger you are, the more you want to be named Johnny Blaze. The older you are, the more you want to be Frank Castle. Frank Castle is going to endure. Johnny Blaze is cool for a little while, but then Johnny's got to grow up and be called John.
You convinced me. Yeah, it's Frank Castle for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. Frank, good for you, bud. He's in the Elite Eight. Who's going to match up with between Blackagar, Boltagon, and John Jones? This is tricky.
This one's really tough.
This is tough.
But Blackagar, Boltagon,
it's so unique. And I want our guy Martian Manhunter to advance because of how deeply we care about him.
But say, if he wins this whole thing, is it rigged?
Yes, the answer is 100% yes. We're not doing this honestly. But with John Jones, there's some points for your creativity, and at the same time, you just threw some apostrophes in there with some Z's. Good work. If you were given a limited amount to work with, you've done well. But if you were given the whole alphabet and you came up with Blackagar, Boltagon, that's pretty.
And if you take out the spelling, it's John Jones. Yeah. It's a very common first name, very common last name.
Yep, it's got some weaknesses.
I love you, Martian.
It's got some weaknesses.
It hurts me to do
I'm
this.
sorry. Farts, I can't believe we did that.
Blackagar, Boltagon. It's just
sometimes being genuine and honest is painful. Okay.
It's just too powerful.
All right, back to the worst roomy region. Parasite and Wolverine. I'm sorry. Hulk and Red Skull. Nazi and Hulk. It's Nazi.
It's Nazi. It's 100% Nazi. This might be This is going to be a walkaway. This is going to be a walkaway. You can't deal with a Nazi. You can't have anybody over with a Nazi. Is this my house?
Yeah.
What's so giant Nazi? I don't know.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Okay. Parasite and Wolverine. They're both just gross. They're both just gross. I think Parasite is the grossest.
This is why I say Parasite over Wolverine, okay?
Yeah.
Wolverine, if you get mad at him, you can just shoot him and it'll be fine. Because he can heal from it, But, Parasite literally will suck the life force out of you,
Yeah.
Right?
It's Parasite, man.
And if you shoot a bullet at him, he'll probably just eat you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wolverine... That is what I would do if Wolverine was my roommate and he bothered me and just shoot him in the butt.
And he'd probably think it's hilarious, in his defense, as a good roomie, he'd probably find good cheer out of it, right? He wouldn't reciprocate. He'd be like, it's no big deal.
Oh, he would totally reciprocate. He just won't do it to you personally. He will instead, cut your shorts up or, take your girl.
If he's that petty, I think he would just feel like, he would feel like you're just the little brother. You're like, really? That's the best you got?
He might ask you to shoot him.
Right.
He might.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, Parasite for sure, though.
Yeah, Parasite.
Walk away.
No doubt. Okay, The partner in crime region, Zatanna and Kingpin.
This is really getting tough.
Yeah, these are challenging. The magic is really, really hard to do better than, isn't it?
Oh, I agree entirely.
Yeah.
Kingpin, you can already have it, but magic, you don't have magic, bud.
Yeah, I think Zatanna takes down in an upset.
Bippity boppity boop.
In an upset. The Kingpin of crime isn't even making it to the Elite 8 of the crime region. Incredible. Okay, great matchup here. This is one of the best in the Sweet 16. The Flash, the Wasp. Wow. Wow.
This is where I think you go with it. Who is more likely to assist you?
The Wasp.
I think so too.
Yeah. The Wasp is probably more willing.
Right.
More eager.
I think so too.
The Flash, he might get a conscience and go, wait a minute, I need to put it back. And then he's so fast you can't stop him. Right? Yeah.
I feel like this is an upset too.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with the Wasp.
Yeah, love it. Okay, a couple strong ladies getting into the Elite 8 and the partner in crime. Wow. Good on you. That's great. Okay, worst co-parent region. Darkseid and Ra's al Ghul.
The toughest matchup of the night.
I agree. These guys suck as parents. They're terrible.
They both torture their kids.
They're terrible. They're really bad.
And I'm probably going to say Darkseid is the worst. Just because of what he's leaving behind.
Yeah.
Raish is going to give you an empire. You're going to go through a lot of crap, but you're getting an empire.
That's true.
Darkseid,
that's true.
You're probably not getting an empire. You're probably just going to be a minion for the rest of your life.
It's, not good. Darkseid, the worst. All right, Sinestro and MODOK. Really, we're just getting down to who's going to lose to Darkseid in the final. It's Sinestro, right?
It's got to be.
I think it is.
Because
this is where MODOK runs out of batteries.
MODOK is a pushover.
He is.
So, Sinestro's like, he could turn your kids against you. He wouldn't care.
Just a dick.
He would go out of his way to make him look like the better parent.
Terrible. Okay, let's do it again. Let's boomerang it. Let's stay right here. Elite 8 time. Let's do a quick recap for where we're at in the Elite 8. Here are our finalists. In the worst co-parent region, we have Sinestro and Darkseid. In the best partner in crime region, a surprise pairing, but one we're very confident in, the Wasp and Zatanna. In the worst roomie region, you have Parasite and Red Skull going for top billing. And then in the best real name region, we have Blackagar Boltagon against Frey mother-loving Castle.
You know what I'm really proud of? I'm proud of the unique Elite 8 that we have.
This is great.
This is a fantastic pair, right? More than a couple of pairs.
A whole quadrant of pairs,
a whole quadruplet of pairs. So,
totally agree.
That's great.
You pick. Let's go random. Which region do you want to take the final distance first?
Let's get the easy ones out of the way.
Okay, agreed.
Worst roomie.
Nazi. Yeah.
It's gotta be the Nazi.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I would rather die than be associated with a Nazi. Like, let's just be real.
That's good. That's a test and you pass.
And, by the way, he's not only just a Nazi. Technically, he just worked with Nazis.
But somehow he's worse than Nazis.
This is
he
true.
believes everything that they believe in and then takes it to a worse level.
Right.
That's not great.
You know it's bad when DC and Marvel cross over and the Joker goes, I may be a murderer, but I'm not a Nazi, and then shoots the Red Skull. Red Skull.
That's indicative right there.
Worst roommate award winner.
Congratulations, I guess.
You piece of garbage. Alright, let's go to the next easiest one. Worst co-parent.
It's Darkseid.
It's Darkseid by a mile. Darkseid by a mile and a half. We have the most evil people just winning this.
Incredible stuff. Yeah, I don't think you can get worse as a parent than as Darkseid. I think he's the worthy winner of this region, in a region littered, by the way, with bummers. Right?
This is actually a really tough bracket.
It is. This is a difficult region, and when you come out on top, I mean, the only heroes, to backtrack a little bit here for the context, the only heroes that we had in this entire region, were Iron Man, Plastic Man, Green Arrow, and Batman. The other 12 were all villains.
Weird how that works, isn't it?
Man.
This is all random.
Yes.
This was randomized, so don't come at me.
Right, no manipulation here. If there was manipulation, you'd know it because Martian Manhunter would be winning. Criteria be damned.
We have established that.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, two really great matchups here in the regional finals.
Let's go to real names.
Okay, Blackagar Boltagon, Frank Castle. Mystical, powerful, mysterious, unique hero, and then the anti-hero of all anti-heroes, the Punisher. I don't know which way to go. They're both phenomenal. Both would be worthy of the title of regional champ.
Hey, can you grab that pencil, Blackagar? Hey, Frank, you want to grab that spoon? I don't know which sounds more badass to you.
Blackguard's got a great
It's Blackagar by far.
All right.
Put him on there. Black Bolt in the final four.
Good for him. What a come up.
I couldn't have called this.
No. Great name.
It's fantastic.
He's a worthy winner. I would have been content and at peace with Frank Castle winning this region because I think it's such, there's some beauty in the simplicity. Probably where he loses is that first name. Hard to put Blackagar up against Frank and say Frank is going to come out there.
So I said it like that out loud.
Yep.
You had to hear it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be Frank.
No, you can be Blackagar.
Right. Yo, what's up, Blackagar? Yo, what's up?
That's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's great. All right, the last final four participant will be one of the Wasp or Zatanna, who is our regional champ from the best partner in crime region. These are two great candidates. They're two great candidates. The Wasp is limited, but not as much as most, but she is limited physically. She can change her size. That's outstanding. But when you've got magic, that's tough. I'd love to say the Wasp could pull the upset, and maybe 1 or 2 times out of 10 she could in this matchup. But I think Zatanna's got to be the favorite.
To me, it's Zatanna as the winner because, you get in there, let's say worst of worst happens, they've got you surrounded, she can teleport you out.
You're getting out.
She's not getting you out. Mm-hmm. She's getting out herself and then going to try to come get you.
You are left behind.
Right, but she'll come get you later.
It'll be a jailbreak.
Yeah, she'll come get you later, but you can just go with her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying Zatanna.
Yeah, she's the better of the two in terms of partner in crime. Heck of a run by the Wasp, by the way.
For sure.
Look at who she took down. A little recap here from her regional run. She started out in round 1 by taking down Blade. That's no easy task. Then Brainiac, then the Flash, huge upset. But Zatanna.
You want to know the craziest coincidence that I've noticed about our bracket?
Love to.
We've had 16 Marvel heroes, 16 Marvel villains, 16 DC heroes, 16 DC villains.
Yep.
DC villain, DC hero up against each other. Marvel villain, Marvel hero up against each other. Not rigged.
That's
I
some
swear to God.
organic balance, Holmes. That's great. Well done.
One person each represented.
That's great. We
Crazy
will never do this again. In
Nope.
the years that we do this will never happen again.
Nope.
Well, excited in our next pod to determine the ultimate champion of the JP and the Beans first annual March Madness bracket. We'll be introducing the fresh criteria for the Final Four as well as the championship matchup. They will be different criteria, so the outcome is very much in doubt. We will be deciding the criteria randomly just to increase the level of chaos. But thank you for watching. We hope you've enjoyed rounds 2, 3, and 4 of our beloved bracket, and we're looking forward to wrapping things up with you here in 2 weeks' time.
We're the grand champion of the JP and Beans Talk bracket. The JP and the Beans bracket will be decided, crowned.
Really the highest honor that could be bestowed upon any of these respective
Yes, maybe we'll
characters.
give them a trophy or something. I haven't figured that out yet.
Highlight of their fictional careers, no
Right.
question.
For sure.
No question.
Trophy.
Love it. All right, Beans. Anything else you got, my man?
That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like this content Come check us out at TikTok at Magic Beans Productions.
You bet.
Come check us out at YouTube, JP and the Beanstalk. And then I think that's it.
That's great.
Because you found us here.
We have over 100 subscribers on YouTube.
We did. Thank you.
Fun.
Thank you for following. It means the world.
That is.
God bless you.
Yeah. What a privilege to have you watch, listen, enjoy us. We enjoyed the heck out of doing this. So
stay with us on the journey.
Appreciate it.
Yes. On that note, Godspeed.
All right. Peace. Love it. Oh, that was a delight.
It was good.
That is so much fun.